Yo, what the deal? It's your boy X.E.L. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Thank you for coming back. But if you are new here, definitely like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so I'll let you know when I drop new videos. If you are here looking for beats, I have a link below in the description. It's called Beats You Need, or you can just go directly to the website. It's going to be xelohh.com. Come here for all your beat needs, all your graphic needs, and all your mixing and mastering needs as well. And that's xelohh.com. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for coming back, man. I really do appreciate everybody that actually has liked and subscribed any of my videos. Today, I'm actually going to be doing a drill beat, but I just wanted to actually break down what is actually the best drill VST you can use to make 808 slides. So today, this is all about the 808 slides in drill. Let's go. All right, so here we are in Cakewalk. I was making a drill beat and I decided, you know what? I've heard a lot of people say what would be the best VST to use to make a drill beat. So I decided to use 4 different samplers to actually do the 808s and to show you kind of what you can expect if you're actually doing some drill beats. All right, so the first one we have here is going to be this TX16WX. This is by far the most complicated sampler out there, I think. And just because they have so many little buttons and nuances that you have to find out what each of these things actually do. First, you want to actually find your sample. I'm using the same sample for all of them. This is the original sample here. For some reason, this sampler, I wouldn't say is a good sampler to use for drill. And the reason that is because it has some kind of clicking sound that I have no idea how to get rid of. If you do know how to get rid of that clicking sound inside of this TXW, leave it below in the comments. We'd like to hear how that's actually the thing to do. All right, so first you want to actually start off when you're loading your sample. The sample's loaded in here. So if you click on groups, it'll tell you what group it's in. This is a new group that I made for this. This is the color of the section of the actual sample. So you can tune and shift your sample here as well. And this is where you want to actually be. You see this where it says poly? You want to click on that or double click it, and it gives you an option to go mono or legato. So I'll put it on legato so it can actually do the slides inside this this VST. So if you are using the TX16WX, this is where you want to start. So you go to groups, go to the poly, and change it to legato. That's right, it'll start on poly, so you want to change it to legato. So that should be all you need to do in groups. So then you want to go to regions, and what you want to do is stretch out your region to where you want the sample to actually go to. I just have mine going to C1 right now, or a little bit after C1. I know the root note of this is this 808 is D, so I put it on D here, and I used G-Tune to tell me where the key is. So as you see, it's hitting on C. So that's how you would figure out where, that's how I figured out where the key is. So I use G-Tune for this to actually get it. I actually use G-Tune for almost all these VSTs I'm about to show you. All right, so I'm gonna unclick the groups, because every time I said you want to actually make sure you unclick those, for some reason they just do weird stuff. Yeah, so you want to set your regions out to where you want them to actually go, and this is where the 808 would lie or lay. And then you want to go to sounds, so this tab here. So you want to close regions, so click on regions to close it, and then you want to go to sounds. So once you're in sounds, this is your attack, hold, decay, and release stuff that you have, just like you would in any other sampler, or even in FL, you do that attack, decay, release stuff. So here is your glide. This knob here is the glide. As you see it turn to glide. So this is where you want to make sure you have your glide on something pretty good. I think I had it on like 40 something and it just didn't do exactly what I wanted to. But yeah, so this is the third step. So there's like 3 steps in here. So you want to go to groups, which is here, this groups section. And that's why I said this thing is just, they made it so complicated that I have no idea why. So you go to groups, and you change your poly to that legato. You want to set your region, so make sure you're on your right key or note. And then you want to go to sounds to actually tune and tweak the 808 so it'll actually slide with this glide button here. And you'll have your parameters to set it. So basically this is, like I said, is like a hold inside of FL. So should last as long as the hold is on there. All right, so there's that. So now we have that 808 in here. But you hear that? That little click at the end? I have no idea how to get rid of that. If you do know how to get rid of that click, please leave it below in the description. I done tried to change the attack. I done tried to change the rate. I mean, everything in here I've tried, but I can't get rid of that click. I have no idea why it actually clicks. All right, so this is the beat, and I'm gonna play it with the actual TX16W. All right, so in order to actually get them to slide this way, you want to offset these higher notes, and you also want to, all right, so what FL does, if you ever use FL and you actually put your the little slide notes, they actually go all the way till, basically it slides up there according to however long the actual note is. And here this is not the same. So what I did was offset it. I usually use my nudge tools to nudge them over so that they're not directly on the beat. And if I zoom in, I'll show you here. As you see, it's not on the grid. So this one is on the grid, and it'll slide up to here as soon as it hits or sees that note. So basically it's like holding down the key. So basically that's what it's doing, it's sliding up. All right. Okay, so I have some notes up here, and I have a bottom note that goes down for this one bar as well. So that one bar, it kind of just dips it down. It's real subtle, so you don't really feel it like you would all these other ones that are actually high, but it's there. All right, so I'm gonna move along to the next sampler. I'm gonna mute this one, and I'm gonna go to Grace. Many people use Grace, and it pops up with this error every time I do it. Don't know 100% why, but it does. And this is Grace. You kind of just drag your sound in here, just like you would. It's the same exact 808. It's X.E.L 80824, the number 24 one that I have. And in Grace, it makes it a lot simpler to kind of do what you want to do in here as well. Unlike the TX16. So in here, I put the 808. I could set my volume, the pan, and I tuned it here to go to that -3, which would be C. So I use my G tune for this as well. So I hit, I'm gonna lock this one on screen, and let's go to G tune. So I use G tune for this. and it's on C. So in here, what you want to do when you're first setting up the 808 to slide on here, you want to actually make sure you change this mode to legato, because it'll start on poly. What you want to do is change it to legato. It's like you have here, and once you change to legato, you'll see this glide knob. So if it's on poly, that knob is just, it's gone. As you see, you can't do it. So click on legato, boom, you have your glide. The thing I don't like is I don't know how much I'm actually gliding. There's no numbers anywhere. If anyone knows there's a number somewhere that I'm missing, please let me know. But I haven't been able to find a way to find how much glide I'm actually applying to the sound. So that's one of the things that I don't necessarily like about the Grace sampler. All right, so you have your attack, you have your hold. So I have the hold all the way up. I have the decay all the way up. I turn down the sustain and I turn down the release, and I believe that was pretty much it. That's all I did, I think. Let's see. And that's how you do your slides inside of Grace. Really simple. It's a lot easier than the TX16. So when you come in here, drop your sample, change it to legato, adjust your glide to wherever you want to actually have your glide, adjust your amp envelope, and you should be good to go. So that's Grace, and I'm gonna play the Grace one. All right, so that was Grace. So I'm gonna mute Grace, and I'm gonna go to one of my favorites. I know what it is. Complete Kontrol. All right, so if you haven't watched my video for Complete Kontrol, definitely watch it. It'll show you what this VST actually does. It's really great VST. I use it for a lot of different things. But yeah, getting along right with it. This is how you actually set it to legato. You click on this little knob thing here, and it gives you an option for the voice settings, and you want to go to legato. Then you want to set your glide. I have it on 7 seconds, and I have my pitch bend at 3. I have it on ADSR mode. When you first start it, it'll probably be on 1 shot, so you can just drop that down to ADSR. I didn't put a loop on or anything. I left all the other things on here the same. I dropped it down to C, which is -2 for this one. So this is what and once again, I did use the G-Tune to tune the Complete Kontrol. So I went into G-Tune. I made sure it was on C. So once I know it's on C, I should be good to go. And like I said, if you have any other questions about this sampler, I do have a video explaining how to actually use it. But there is how it sounds inside of Cakewalk. And it's really clean, and I believe it's probably the closest one to FL. If you do want to use a sampler to actually do your drill music and your 808 slides. All right, so moving right along, I'm going to mute this one, and I'm going to use my last and final VST, which is going to be FL Studio VST. A lot of people do not use this for some reason, and I'm not 100% sure why. So if you want the 808 slides like FL, put FL inside a Cakewalk. It's that simple, people. Just that simple. So this is how the plugin first looks when you open it up. You hit on a little fruit right here. It turns orange when you scroll over it. Once you click on that, boom, it'll pull up FL inside of Cakewalk. All of these are the same exact patterns as this FL Studio one. I actually first made this drill beat using the FL Studio as a VST. I only have it on one thing, so I only needed it for one thing. So I have the one out. I created the 808 with the 24 on there. 808 24, I dragged it over. I went to the piano roll. I played the beat in Cakewalk, and I put the 808 pattern in here. This same exact pattern with the same little drop down note here. I have the slides right here. Same exact slides, same exact setup. So I'm gonna go back in here. So this is what the FL one sounds like. And there you go. That is 4 different VSTs that you can actually use for your drill beats to actually have them do the drill beat slides up and down. The big difference with the FL one is that you have the glide notes. So these little notes right here with the triangles on them, these are your glide notes, and you can usually start them from here and then actually add your glide notes on there. The difference is you don't have to start these later, these glide notes, like you don't have to offset them. You can start them exactly when the actual hit comes in. All right, so as you see, it's on this bar. This bar right here is the same bar that this one starts and this one starts, but the glide doesn't stop until it gets here. This is when it reaches that actual peak for that line, and I did that for all of them, and even this one down here. But yeah, that is the uniqueness of FL Studio. I believe they're the only ones that do it, unless you're using like LMS, I think, LMMS. I think they have that in there as well. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really tested it out. But this just goes to show that you can actually make beats however you want. Whatever you feel comfortable with is what you should actually be using. So now I'm just going to play the beat and I'm just going to keep switching them out. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to kind of just cycle through them and you let me know what you hear. All right. I mean, that's pretty much it. So if you guys have like any questions about this, definitely let me know below in the comment section. I know I'll get back to you on those. Yeah. So which one do you think you'll be using for your 808s? For your drill beats in 808s? All right, so once again, it's your boy X.E.L.O. Until next time, people. Peace.